3-6, we're going to look at comparing fractions. The focus is I want you to be able to compare two fractions and then review multiple ways to compare those fractions. You're going to learn strategies to solve number stories that involve comparing fractions, and you're going to solve those number stories that involve fractions and comparing them. But first, let's start with our mental math and fluency. Name two multiples of 5. Remember that we're looking at multiples and we're not looking at what the factors of that number are. So two multiples of 5, we start with the number 5. 1 times 5 is 5, so the answer is 5. 2 times 5 is 10, so 10. So what are the factors of 5? Those are the numbers that you use to get 5 when multiplying. 1 and 5. Name two multiples of 4. Well, 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So 4 and 8 would be two multiples of 4. What are the factors of 4? What numbers can you use to multiply to get 4? Well, 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 1, 2, and 4. And finally, is 4 a multiple of those numbers? Well, 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 4. So yes. Remember, factors are the numbers you multiply together to get the number. Multiples are numbers that you multiply that number by and the answers that they come up with. Micah ran 4/5 of a mile. Allison ran 3/5 of a mile. Who ran farther? Or did they run the same distance? Be prepared to justify your answer. So whenever they're asking you who ran further, they're looking for a greater than, less than, or equal to sign because we're comparing them. So let's take a look at this. 4/5 versus 3/5. Well, the denominators are the same, the numbers down on the bottom. So that means that if the mile was cut into sections, this section is cut into 5 pieces. And so is this section. And sorry, they are not exactly perfect. Micah ran 4 of those. So she ran this distance. Allison ran this distance. She ran only 3. Just by looking at who ran more? Well, 4 is more than 3 since the denominators are the same. 4 is a larger number, so Micah came closer to running the full mile than Allison did. So your answer is 4/5. So again, this is just telling you to partitioning the number line below into thirds. First, using the thirds tool to split the line into thirds. You would drag the glowing points. So because I'm going to be doing this for you, or I believed so, maybe I'll just draw it on there for you. You need to see that approximately, if this was the halfway mark, and I always like, even though they're talking thirds, I always like to draw that halfway mark. It just makes a little bit easier for me, and I usually will label that. Well, if that's a half, then I know between 0 and a half, right in the middle, will be a 1/4. When I cut 1/2 in half, I get a 1/4. So if I add this 1/4 onto the half, I come up with 3/4. But it's asking me to look at a third of the line. So they're saying instead of cutting it into 4 sections, they want you to just cut it into 3 sections. So a third would be more than a fourth, but less than a half. So there would be 1 section of a third. And maybe I should draw that in a different color here for you. So this line is representing a third. Then I got to draw another third, which would land about here. So that's the second third. So that's 2 thirds. And then this would be 3 thirds. The more you share and you think and you're comparing, okay, so what's larger? Is 1/3 more or is 1/4 more? Again, you need to look at your line. Which is longer? Here we're at a fourth already. We need to go beyond that to get to a third. So 1/3 is greater than 1/4. Write a number model using these symbols to record the results of the comparison. And this is what's looking at your 4/5 was greater than 3/5. Remember, the end that is open, the larger end, goes to the larger number. So when we cut that into thirds, I already showed you how to do that. So this is just showing you once again what I just did. So Destiny and Jasmine are sisters. Their parents gave each of them the same allowance. Destiny spent 2/5 of her money at a football game. Jasmine spent 6/10 of her money at the clothing store. Who spent less? Or did they spend the same amount? Well, remember, when we're going to be comparing again, we're going to be looking at using either the greater than, less than, or equals to sign. If Destiny spent 2/5, I would write down 2/5, and I'd probably write a large D over here for Destiny. And Jasmine spent 6/10, and I would put a J next to that one so that I know that this is Jasmine. Notice there are 2 different denominators here on the bottom. So the first thing I would want to do is find a common denominator, meaning that denominators that both 5 and 10 are multiples of 5. So I'm going to make them equivalent. This one is already 10, so I would leave Jasmine's alone. But Destiny's is only a 5. I want to make that a 10. Can I do that? Well, 5 times 2 is 10. So yes, I can. So whatever I do to the denominator, the number's down on the bottom. I do the same to the numerator, the number's on top. And notice that I'm multiplying it by 2. I multiplied it by 2 here, so that's what I need to multiply the numerator by here. 2 times 2 is 4. Now that I have 2 fractions with the same denominator, I can give you an honest and precise answer. 4 out of 10 would be less than 6 out of 10. Therefore, if I look back at the original numbers they gave me, I would say that 2/5, which was the original number, remember all I did here was convert it and find a common denominator, is less than 6/10. Let's check it and see if we were right. And we were. Again, this is just looking at the number line, making sure that you can label it. So Quinn, Nina, Diego, Paula, and Kiana were given 4 same-size burritos to share. Quinn and Nina shared 1 burrito. Right away, I would draw 1 burrito, and I would put Quinn and Nina. So I put a Q and an N. They shared 1. It says Quinn ate a 4th. Well, that tells me that I need to have 4 equal sections. Quinn ate just this one, 1 out of 4. Nina ate 2 fourths. She ate these 2. Diego, Paula, and Kiana each ate part of the other burritos. Okay, so now it says, remember, we have 4 of the same size. So I'm going to draw them. And if these are not perfectly 4, you need to pretend they are. It says, Diego ate 2/3 of 1 burrito. Well, that's telling me that this one is split into thirds. And it says Diego ate 2/3 of that. This is Diego. Paula ate 2/5. Okay, so this one ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Paula ate 2/5. And Kiana ate 5/6 of the 3rd burrito. She ate 5/6 of the 3rd burrito. This is an assessment check-in, so I want you to finish this problem on your own and then bring it back to me and show me how you figured out how much Kiana ate when it says she ate 5/6 of that 3rd burrito. The question on page 83 of your math journal says, so who ate more, Diego or Paula? Or did they eat the same amount, and how did you know? So I need an explanation there. Then it says write a number model using the symbols greater than, equal to, or less than to record the comparison. You need to stop the tape now, finish page 83, and bring it back to me when you've completed it. If you are done with page 83 and you are back on the recording, I want you to go to your math journal and do page 84 and 85. When you complete those 2 pages, I want you to stop the recording again and bring it back to me and let me check your answers for each of those 2 pages. And the final thing you're going to be doing for lesson 3-6 is Math Masters page 120, which I have back in the folder. So when you complete the other 2 math journal pages, page 84, 85, and 83, and I've checked them all and looked them over, you may come back and get page 120. Thank you.